Zhang Ling's Lancôme look has no extra accessories. Here's the real reason it went viral. Why would Zhang Ling's suit, zero print, zero gemstones, zero stacked accessories, make people look twice? The answer sits in the one thing hardest to pull off in fashion: simplicity done properly. I still remember the moment those photos loaded up on my screen, one after another. Funny thing, what hit me first wasn't the outfit at all. It was the quiet that came off the whole frame. No color block trying to steal the show, no accessory acting too hard. Just Zhang Linghe in an ash-gray suit, standing still among the flowers, under soft, hazy light, like he'd wandered out of the last days of summer and forgotten the way back. Honestly, that feeling is rare, in a scene where more equals more noticeable has basically become the unspoken rule for every brand event. This shoot Zhang Linghe did. For Lancôme went the other way entirely. Restraint pushed to a point where it almost reads as a quiet statement on its own. Here's something anyone who's worked in styling will tell you straight. Stacking 10 pieces onto one outfit isn't the hard part. The real challenge is getting all 10 to get along without stepping on each other. One tone slightly off, one texture that doesn't belong, one accessory that accidentally overshadows the rest, and the whole thing falls apart into visual clutter. So when the brand summed up Zhang Linghe's concept for this shoot in one short line, clean styling, a scholarly, youthful air, I had to pause for a second. Sounds simple on paper, but honestly, that's one of the toughest briefs a stylist can get. Going complicated is easy. Getting simple to land exactly right, not one piece too many or too few, is 10 times harder, because simplicity doesn't let you hide behind fancy cuts or trendy layering tricks. Nail it, and it's beautiful. Miss by even a little, and it reads try hard immediately. And I think, precisely because they understood that, the team behind this shoot made one smart call: draw a clear line on who the lead is. The ash-gray suit is the only center of the whole story. The white shirt, the BVL Gari watch, the thin necklace, the hairstyle, all of it quietly stays in the background, framing one complete picture. A clean-cut, refined guy in an ash-gray suit. Take a look at a fair number of male celebrity event looks these days. Necklaces layered on top of each other, rings on every finger, earrings, brooches, the whole works. The end result rarely feels as luxe as intended. More often, it just leaves the eye tired and overwhelmed. Zhang Linghe's team went the opposite way this time. Cut boldly, kept only what was truly necessary. And oddly enough, because there's less, every remaining piece actually gets its own spot to stand in, instead of getting lost in the noise. Look closer, and the shoot has quite a few nice little details tucked away. The gray of the suit sits somewhere between deep and light, with a very subtle, cool undertone hiding underneath. The kind stylists in the industry quietly love, because it flatters almost any skin tone and works under nearly any lighting, carrying its own gentle, cool-toned filter built in. When natural light hits it at the right angle, the fabric catches a faint silvery sheen. That particular glow only ash-gray fabric has, quietly luxe without trying too hard. The shirt collar is left slightly undone, not fully buttoned up, just enough space to let the collarbone and the BVL Gari pendant peek through. That gap must have been adjusted more times than we'll ever know. Button it up too much and it reads stiff, overly formal. Open it too wide and it slides into careless, sloppy territory. The pendant just sits there quietly at the collarbone, half tucked in the fabric. That half-hidden, half-shown touch is exactly what makes you want to look twice. The watch and necklace, both BVL Gari, stay in the same warm gold tone, and this is the key detail. That's the core rule of less is more in styling. You can cut down on quantity, but the tone has to stay consistent. A gold watch next to a silver necklace would have the two metals fighting for attention, creating that disjointed feeling nobody wants. Here, the whole palette is kept strictly to 3 tones. Ash gray, pure white, gold metal, a clear order you understand at a glance. Then there's the hair, naturally side-parted, keeping a bit of loose texture, with just the right amount of messy to feel comfortable rather than sloppy. No trace of stiff hair gel. It feels like he just washed, blow-dried, and walked straight out the door. which, funnily enough, matches perfectly with the whole point of a skincare brand. Good, natural condition on its own, no need to overdo anything. Zooming out a bit, I think this shoot says more than what's on the surface. How a team styles an artist at a given point in time is often a quiet signal of how they want the public to see that person right now. Loud, accessory-heavy looks usually chase attention. Quiet, minimal ones like this one usually aim for something else entirely. Trust. Maybe it was a deliberate move in image positioning. Or maybe it's just good instinct from a stylist who knows exactly when to stop. Either way, it's clearly working, and perhaps, in a crowded, noisy entertainment market like this one, knowing when to stop is the rarest skill of all. Multiple angles. When a photo shoot is more than just a photo shoot, from the general audience's point of view, the everyday viewer scrolling past in under 3 seconds, the first reaction to Zhang Linghe's look tends to be pleasant. You don't need to know anything about fashion. Don't even need to know who BVL or Lancôme's is, and you'd still pick up on the clean, put-together feel of the whole thing. That's the real power of minimalist styling done right. It doesn't ask for expertise to appreciate, just an ordinary pair of eyes and a moment to pause. Judging by how much this set has circulated and been discussed, the reaction leans heavily toward comfort, even a kind of relief, as if, after a long stretch of cluttered event looks, people were quietly waiting for something less try-hard. From an industry insider's point of view, stylists, fashion editors, the reaction is probably more critical, but also more respectful. Anyone who's ever pushed a clothing rack backstage at a major brand shoot knows the pressure to fill it up, make it stand out, is very real. Every brief wants the product to look good on camera, and the more brands sponsoring accessories, the bigger the pressure to squeeze everything into frame. Daring to say no to 2 or 3 pieces just to keep the whole look tight is sometimes the hardest call of the entire shoot, not the easy option outsiders might assume it is. From an image-building point of view, this is probably the most interesting layer. An artist, at a stage where they need to get noticed, usually gets pushed toward bold, statement-heavy styling that sparks conversation. On the other hand, an artist who already has a solid, steady fan base and is now at a stage of reinforcing a trustworthy, tasteful, matured image tends to get guided toward exactly this kind of minimal, refined direction. Seen that way, this shoot quietly signals something. Zhang Linghe's team doesn't seem to need to shout for attention anymore. They're letting his presence do the talking instead. What actually won me over here isn't whether it's beautiful. Beauty is mostly subjective anyway. Everyone's got their own taste. What genuinely impressed me is the discipline behind every single choice. It's no accident that a concept this simple clearly went through so many rounds of adjustment. The collar gap, sticking to one metal tone, even deliberately leaving the hair looking undone. Real minimalism, unlike lazy minimalism, always hides a lot of effort underneath. And maybe it's precisely because that kind of discipline is rarely shown this fully that this shoot makes people want to linger a little longer, instead of scrolling past like every other event look. Of course, there's also a fair argument that a look this safe, this clean, can sometimes lack personality, lack that instantly recognizable signature. That's a completely valid take too. Not everyone needs a flashy image to be remembered, and not everyone suits this minimalist direction either. For Zhang Linghe, at least at this point, the choice seems to be playing right into his natural strengths. A clean, composed presence that doesn't need to try too hard to stand out.